Well, it's the Vaal, the 7th of November, and Tuesday we got 9 races on the go. Yep, it is 9 races on the go on this Tuesday. And to you, the valued racing fan, I trust that you're well. Of course, we would have had racing on Monday at Hollywoodbets Greyville, but the first meeting in the Highveld takes place on this Tuesday. And as always, we welcome Alistair Cohen. And Alistair, well done last weekend. We did that Saturday show, and I must say that you were spot on with most of the races.
Yeah, hello Dees, hello to all the viewers. Another week upon us. The Saturday card at Hollywoodbets Durbanville shaping up to be an absolute ripper with Princess Callum, Mrs. Geriatrics and a few other top horses accepted to race. Also, I think Sunday at Turfentine with the Summer Pudding Mile. So, it's that time of year where the big guns are well and truly out and start to target their races. And I was thoroughly impressed with Atticus Finch. He's now fully put himself onto the radar for the Betway Summer Cup. Nice gallant performance up front. Well, it's the Calvin Abib booting home the feature race double, so that was good to see. And there were a few horses in behind Atticus Finch. I mean, like I said on the show, Billy Bowlegs was top of my Summer Cup radar. Then he plummeted off it with his first run for Brett Crawford, and now he snuck back on. But I think all in all, the 2 horses that hold the aces will be Bertha Manzano and Winchester Mansion. But a couple of reasons to think long and hard after this weekend, and then also saw some good action out at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Nice story for you, Zay Ramzan, found from obscurity in America to come and ride Mucho De Niro and boot home a feature race win for Justin Snaith. It'll be interesting to see if Zay is called up next time for Mucho De Niro.
Yeah, master stroke with that 50 kgs on the back, and that pick 6 that we just spontaneously did on the show was on the mark on Saturday. So let's see how things go on this Tuesday. I must admit, at the top of the show, we'll as we go along, we'll get Alistair's feel for the card, but this is highly competitive. Personally, I think the exotics are going to pay superb. Race number 1 doesn't form part of the exotics. It's a maiden plate over 1,000 meters. This is how they're betting. Hollywoodbets, number 2 at 2-1. Number 3 at 2-1, and then we got the filly number 11 at 4-1. Those are the only single figure digit horses here. Alistair, the balance are all in double figures. We are going in blind with a few runners. But of these 3 runners, I'll tell you which horse, interests me the most, because first time out, there was some talk about for number 2, Ethanator.
Well, it's a complex race, Dees. The first thing that I want to read out to punters is the configuration of the false rail. The inside rail set at 0 in the back straight, so 12 meters on the bend, with a 12-meter spur at the 600. But crucially, the outside rail set at 0. Now, this is the first meeting at the Vaal in a while. First meeting on the original course for nearly a month, actually. And when you look at that, you would immediately be drawn towards high number draws with that configuration, with an outside rail set at 0. If the inside rail set at 0, low number draws work. Outside rail at 0, high number draws work. Well, anyway, that's the perception. So, the fact that it's a complex race, you like number 2, Ethanator. I can have Ethanator, but Ethanator was beaten by number 4, Knock 'em Stiff, when they met on the 14th of October. You could probably take the stance that Ethanator returning from a 3.5 or even 4.5 month break that he probably needed it. He pulled in the early stage, it didn't go on with it, so dropping back to 1,000 meters, likely to suit the son of Rafif. But still, Knock 'em Stiff has got the measure of him, and then Knock 'em Stiff ran all sorts of a stinker subsequently on Allied Steel Road on a Mission Charity Mile race day. So, don't know what to make of that. I'm leaning towards number 3, Secret Chord, who finished in front of Knock 'em Stiff in that run to San Simon. He's got a high number draw. He finished just in front of Walled Garden, and Walled Garden won on Saturday when they met in that race to Shampimpi. Secret Chord actually moved up nicely for a while. So, I also think dropping to 1,000 meters is likely to suit the son of Bezran, just as running style, I think, gives me an indication that he'll go well here. So 3, Secret Chord is my top selection. And then number 11, Thing Called Love, if not in need of the run. I think that she's just run to better. Her first run to Red Bomber, obviously one of the stronger juvenile form lines. Second run to Ampersand, perhaps a trifle disappointing, but she's got to be better than that. The fact that she returned fatigued and is back nearly 6 months later, I think tells you that something may have come out in the wash with number 11, Thing Called Love. So if not in need of the run, coming back in 1,000 meters, likely to be freshened up, she could run well. 3, my top choice, 11, the one to watch.
3, 11, and 2. I think play around those numbers. They are the obvious horses in the race. The betting is to be used as a guide as well. But that's race number 1. Not a race that you can go strong on the head. But maybe you like something and you're hoping to get off to a flying start. Race number 2, start of the bipot. It's over 1,000 meters. It's a maiden plate for fillies and mares. How they betting here? Hollywoodbets, number 3, 17 to 10. Number 4 at 7 to 1. Number 7, a first-timer from the Cornet Spies stable at 7 to 1. 11 to 2, number 10. And another first-timer, Clinton Binder's rudder, called Smashing at 7 to 1. How are we starting off this bipot?
I'm starting it off with the banker D's with number 3, Winter Path. I like her chances. Surprised that she's 17 to 10 because I think there are a few reasons to sort of look long and hard at this race. But when I looked at number 3, Winter Path, come into the parade ring last time out, she looked like she hadn't run for a few months. Looked like Sean Terry had been soft on her. I think that run's going to bring her along to no end. I think there's an element of ability there. I mean, I don't know how much. I'm not for one moment saying that she's going to contest and feature races, but I still think there's an element there. I like the fact that she's got a bit of pace that she showed last time out. She was entitled to fall in a hole, having shown that much pace and coming off a 6-month layoff. And I think if she does show enough speed and she's able to get across, if the track's running that way, then number 3, Winter Path, will be a very hard horse to beat. She's run to horses that I think are just far better than anyone else in this race. She also beat a few in the form of Flying Puma, Kiss the Magic, and Rebels Princess. Just a few angles to perhaps consider when playing trifectas and quartets. Fault Lawari, bred to be an out-and-out sprinter, first run in town, back to 1,000 metres where her best runs are. I'd watch the betting on number 4, Glowari. If there's a little bit of race time support, consider her. I think number 9, Kiss the Magic, is going to improve a lot. I don't know if she'll improve enough to find 4 lengths on number 3, Winter Path, but I think she'll improve a lot and be somewhere in the on the frame. And then number 13, Smashing, as you mentioned, a very well-bred daughter of Rafif. The mother was trained by Grant Maroon. She was an accomplished sprinter, was Wrecking Ball. She won the Tommy Hotspur, or the Labella. I think it was Tommy Hotspur that Wrecking Ball won. So she's bred to be quick. She's bred to be forward as well, first time out. But I think number 3, Winter Path, just judging from what I saw with the eye last time out, having needed the run and running to the likes of Guy Gibson and Ripple Effect, she'll be the one with a target on her back. I think she'll win, but there are a few horses in here that are just worth watching.
Yeah, and the one that's worth watching is that any support is the Hollywoodbets syndicate horse. Built for speed is number 13, Smashing. If there's any money for her, that money could be spot on. But Alistair Cohen, confident leg 1 of that bar pot, you can bank up. Number 3, Winter Path. Place accumulator begins at 13.20 over 2,000 meters. How are they betting here? Number 1 at 3 to 1, 3 at 28 to 10. 4 at 8 to 1, 5 is a 7 to 1 shot. 8 Karoo Gold is 28 to 10, and that is it. That is one form update here for number 10. Finished 8, beaten 6 lengths on the 2nd of November. Alistair, I just want to find out something from you. Maybe you'd have some inside info. With number 8, Karoo Gold. Last time out, I mean, that drift, that was from 7 to 1 out to 40 to 1. It still ran a fair race, but that drift, I mean, that was a big concern of mine.
There was no reason for the drift either. I think that there were just 2 horses that came in for tons of money, and I think everyone else just drifted it as a result. Look, this has always been the idea with number 8, Karoo Gold. I promise you, he's a lovely horse. He's got something about him. He's going to win races, but he's only going to win races over a trip. So when he started his career over 14.50, that run actually caught a few by surprise, but he stayed on very nicely, found his feet right at the end, which he did again last time. He dropped the bit coming out of the stalls, needed a bit of riding, sat towards the back of the field, and again made up a ton of ground. Now he's going the right distance. Always been a bit of a burn to get to the right distance at the right time. So 2,000 meters third run sounds about right, looks about right. I've been in Cape Town for the last week, so I don't know how he's doing. I don't know how he's working. Candice's sister Tammy, who obviously trained a 40 to 1 winner on Saturday in the form of Jury's House, has been holding the fort. Tammy worked with Mike DeCock and Jeff Woodruff for many years, so she's more than just an assistant. She is as part of the team and as much the trainers as Candice is these days. But number 1, Karoo Gold, draw 1. this is pretty much set up for him. I know that Al Bayreg finished in front of him last time, but if you go back and watch the race, Karoo Gold was running at Al Bayreg. The extra 400 meters should suit Karoo Gold a lot. I've got both into the bipod just to cast my net a little bit wider in case Karoo Gold is still one run away, because he might just be being a horse that's looking for 2,400 meters plus, because the whole family stayed all day, being Imperial Ruby, Burmese Tiara. There's just a lot of horses in there, and they stay all day. So, it sounds ridiculous that 2,000 meters might still be a little bit on the short side for number 8, Karoo Gold. He's got stayers capabilities written all over him, so that's why I've gone the 2 horses. But if you're confident about number 8, Karoo Gold, I can't put anyone off. I think that he will take a lot of beating. The only thing that can beat him is probably just maybe being one run too soft.
Well, if you couldn't split them and you're using the betting as a guide, they're both priced up at 28-10. There is some confidence coming through from Alistair Cohen. He may have made up your mind for you in race number 3 between numbers 3 and 8. On to the big one, the Pick 6. What time does it begin? 13:55. That's when you need to get your bets on. It's over 2,000 meters. It's a merit-rated 74 handicap. Now, this race, how many horses here? Let me have a look at how many horses. There's 13 horses. Yeah, 13 horses here, Alistair. What are we doing? Number 1 is at 28-10, 3 at 5-1, 4 at 6-1, 6 at 7-1. Then we are going to, that's it. The balance are all in double figures. Alistair, I mean, if you can go less than half the field here, I think you're a winner in any exotic.
Well, I've got 8 in the bar pot. So that just tells you exactly where I stand in this race. Sure. This is a nightmare. And look, as far as the bar pot is concerned, I've opened up with a banker and I finished the bar pot with a banker. And I think Dave the King's a banker in all bets. The way that race is structured, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. So what I'm saying is I think despite the intimidating nature of some races on this card, there's enough of this card to fill punters with a bit of confidence. But this is the race where you will gain ground. Even if the favorite wins, there's going to be such a level spread of tickets in the exotics that if by some chance you double up in the PA or bar pot, you'll be in the pound seat. But it's a matter of kicking for touch and hoping for the best. So one of the money horses on this card is Greenlight Magic. I have a feeling that punters are playing with a bit of a marked card with Greenlight Magic, because he was carded to race last week at that meeting that got abandoned, and there was support for him then. There's always support for Greenlight Magic. I maintain that those tragic supporters of Greenlight Magic have sort of a love-hate relationship with the son of Gimme the Green Light. But I also maintain that meeting last week was supposed to be on the inside track. I think this Vaal course being at home will suit number 1, Greenlight Magic. So there's a lot of pros and cons with this horse. He's got top weight, which is obviously not ideal, but someone out there thinks a lot of number 1, Greenlight Magic. I've got number 3, Kambulu in. He exited the maidens due to a Pierre Strader masterclass last time. Striker's back on board. He's rejuvenated. Emblem of War was a trifle disappointing over the weekend, so it might put some off number 3, Kambulu, but first run in a handicap, he's just a horse who's actually been beaten in the mind rather than beaten on the track along the way. So if his mind is right, he can do a few things throughout his career. 4, Romeo's Magic's a model of consistency. Gavin Lorena's engagement is eye-catching. I've always got time for this horse Over to You. I know he's got a bad draw, but I've always maintain that I'll rather be on the right side of Over to You than the wrong side, because I don't think it wins all that far away. 6, Viva Brazil's the improver in the race. He can step up with that last run under the belt. He'll stay all day. That certainly runs like it. Go watch that last run on number 7, 5th of July. Weird, he moved up a winner with about 200 meters left to run, then faltered late. So I think he's better than that run suggests. And then 10 and 12 also go in. Number 10, Brotherhood of Magic, JP van der Maverick, horrible draw, but he shouldn't be all that far away. And then number 12, Skyfall, the filly in the race, banging on the handicap of a rating of 59, so she sneaks in without being under sufferance. Cabello Matsanyani takes a rider, always like that, Cabello, with 52 kilos on the back. She does mix her form from time to time, but her last run is eye-catching to me, number 12, Skyfall, so I think she's a potential winner. I know that that's more than half the field, so you'll probably want to go with the big F in the opening leg of the pick 6, but like I said, I think there's a bit of money to be saved later on in the card.
Yeah, the way this pick 6 is going to start off, those tickets are going to be well spread amongst these 13 runners. The majority could well be on number 1, Greenlight Magic, but whatever the results here, I think you will be a winner if you can include less than half the field, because I can almost guarantee that the pick 6 could be paying much more than 6 rand after leg one of race number 4. On to race number 5, 1,700 meters, meritorious 88 handicap. This is the way they're betting jackpot. Number 1 at 2-1. Number 4 at 7-1. 5 is 7-1. We then got 7 at 7-1. 9 at 8-1. Number 11 at 25-1 and 12 at 25-1. Alistair, I've taken out the betting of both those runners because I think I worked with you when Captain Chorus raced at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, which wasn't a bad run, was a good run. And this horse, Lesson, I know that the horse has been off for 16 months, we'll call it. But if you look at the weight the individual carries and the fact that I know the horse is coming off a long break, but the form prior to the layoff, I mean, was excellent. Could this horse run well for Corrie?
I'm not convinced. He's, beating Parker Gettrick's Ball Rolling and Wondering Star, and now taking on Grade 1 close-up Kayamai, a well-performed Bloomington, 9-time winner Mardi Gras, Equine Millionaire, a rating dropper at number 9 Willow Express. I think, and also 1,700 meters first run back. I think there's more not to like first time out. If he were to run midfield, I'll be licking my lips for next time. Thank you for the reminder about Captain Chorus. That was a nice quartet that day. If he ran into the first 3, it would have been even better. And he was so unlucky that day as well at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on the big sprint day. My numbers in this race, I've left out the favourite, number 1, Kayamai. That's going to be a hard ask with top weight Ds. I know that Calvin Habib feature race double over the weekend. Tony Peter and Suzette Fillion with Golden Sickle. The same combination back again. But also coming off a layoff, top weight, 1,700 meters first run back. I know that he runs like you'll get the trip. I suppose we've got to put him into the pick 6, but I've left him out of my bipop. The horse that I'm most keen on here is Sean Tarry's Willow Express. You'll know, he's been on my radar for such a long time. Another drop in the ratings. I know it's only £1, but it's going to all add up. 1,700 meters better trip for him. I know he's not been this distance, but he was most prolific over the middle distance range, not over a sprint. He stayed on very strongly last time at the Vaal to finish 3 lengths to Esquivel. I think he's in the right place now, Dees. I know it's been a long time since he won, so you probably have to... you have to be a bit brave to take out a few rand and have a punt on number 9 Willow Express on the nose. But I believe that he's going to run a huge race, if not winning, going very close. He's my money maker in the race. I know he's 8-1, and you probably lose a little bit of value with a horse that I've been preaching for a while, or that punters have been cottoning onto for a while. But I think number 9 Willow Express is just about in the right place now. I think the runs that he's had to bring him along have been eye-catching enough. The stable companion, number 7, Billy Spellbound. I love it, the Vaal. When he won beating Main Mission on the Vaal Classic track over 1,800 meters, he looked like a racehorse. He followed up to runs to Eye of the Prophet, Future Swing, the winner of the Johnson Workwear, Algoa Cup on Sunday, Royal Aussie, Son of Raj. I mean, these are all horses that are far better than what he's racing with here. So 7, Billy Spellbound, big chance. I think he needed his last run. I'm sure he needed his last run. The alarming drift, the fact that he was in a progress, played the wrong race, I think that's going to set him up nicely. And then my other horse is number 2, Whispers of War. Whispers of War, easy to describe, duck or no dinner, leave him alone up front at your own peril, give him a hard time, he'll drop the bundle and be unsighted. But if he does get things his own way, and just with the way that the race is likely to turn out without much pace in the race, it might just set up nicely for number 2, Whispers of War. So, he could do anything.
I'll tell you what, you've now made me take a very good look at this. I liked him prior to us doing the show, but I mean, now that I really look at his profile, number 1, Billy Spellbound, we understand that, he qualified for that gold rush. You got a ticket, you get a chance of winning big money when it comes to stakes. But look at how Sean Terry has placed this horse. I mean, he hasn't been shy to run him in some highly competitive races. So, I actually wrote here, I'm surprised he's still a one-time winner, but look at how Sean has raced him out the maidens. I think that 7-1 could be very attractive here, Alistair. This horse 7, Billy Spellbound. The fact that, he's a horse that Sean may be even disappointed that he hasn't won since he's maiden.
I think he's going to be a nice horse in time, Dees. I think, remember the Mother Witchcraft? She stayed all day. She was a stakes winner, stakes placed over an extended distance. I'd expect more for number 7, Billy Spellbound this season. Put it like this. If we get to the 31st of July and Billy Spellbound's had, say, 20 runs for 1 win in a heap of places, I'll be surprised. I'd expect it to be sort of 20 runs, 3 or 4 wins for heaps of places.
All could start here. Race number 5 over 1,700 meters. I think that could be the value there. Part of Alistair Cohen's play is Billy Spellbound, but I fancy that he may be going 2 to 3 runners when we read out his bar pot. Race number 6, it's over 1,400 meters, a merit-rated 76 handicap. Now, this is a very interesting race because there were a few horses in this field that were spoken about on one of the shows that got abandoned. So they make their presence felt in this field on the Tuesday, a week later. It's over 1,400 meters, merit-rated 76 handicap. Number 2, 7 to 1. 4 at 9 to 2. 5 at 8 to 1. 6 at 5 to 1. 7 at 7 to 1. 8 at 8 to 1. And this is a trifecta quartet race. I'll tell you what, if you can get this with the minimum spend, narrowing down your selections for first and second, and just maybe including 1 or 2 extra for third and fourth, you're going to get a solid return on your investment here. Alistair, there are a few runners that we spoke about last week for exactly the show when that race meeting got abandoned. One of them was Fully Loaded, if my memory serves me correct. The other was Eiffel Tower. Those were the principles that you did like at that race meeting. Are they form part of your play a week later?
Absolutely right, Dees. In fact, I think they will be the 2 horses to beat, even though I've gone 5 horses in my buy pot, and I'll put one other in the pick 6 in the form of number 15, Godfather. My numbers here are 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8, but I think Fully Loaded and Eiffel Tower are the 2, with preference for number 7, Eiffel Tower. Gavin Larena takes her out for St. John Gray. They don't team up often these days. High number draw. I love that last run to House of Romanov, where he actually moved up for a while, didn't go on with it. He's won down the Vaal mile straight before, so I think that stands him in good stead. I know Napoleon's got the turnover at weights, but if you look where Eiffel Tower came from on that occasion, that's also got to be a big plus. And Napoleon's a bit of a tea leaf, dare I say. You know, he's an improver. There's a lot going on here with number 7, Eiffel Tower. I think he's got a fair amount of ability, and he is my on-top selection. 6, Fully Loaded, for me, easily the biggest danger. I thought he was an aimer on Tuesday, but sadly we'll never know how that race was going to turn out. He's in a more competitive field with a tongue tie on for the first time, so I found that very interesting. He's a horse that's coughed before, so perhaps not the biggest surprise of all time. Last time out, he was tried over 1,400 meters. He was given every opportunity to stay. He ran on really strongly, so he's back over the same course and distance. I think they could probably now know that he reaches 1,400 meters. It might be stretching his radar a little bit, but the fact that now he's proven that he can be effective over this distance, can ride him a little bit closer to the pace, and hopefully get the right horses to follow, do a little bit of work for him, and pounce at the right time, because that turn of foot that he showed last time was encouraging. He's not a clumsy horse. He doesn't fight with his head, so that's a big attribute down the Vaal straight. So 7 from 6, my 2 selections, but then I'd hate to go out with number 2, Back to Basics, a horse that's done me favours along the way. 4, Whirly, who's never been in this form in many, many years, the 9-year-old. It's great to see him and Pierre Stratum with the success that they're having at the moment. And then number 8, Napoleon, even though I've just described him as a tea leaf, he can turn it on, and if he turns it on at the right time under Kelvin Habib, he could also be a dangerous horse running at them. So those are my 5 horses, but I'm not going against the grain as far as the betting is concerned. I like to look for value in these races, or horses at bigger prices, so perhaps get into the first 4. I can't see it. I think this is going to go according to the script.
Yeah, and I must just, I haven't done this on this show, but I've said it before, when, especially when this horse has come down to KZN, Whirly, like most, I was hoping, wishing, and waiting for him to get to that 7-figure mark, and he's certainly done that with back-to-back wins now. So absolutely brilliant, Whirly and Clinton Binder. But we'll see Alistair Cohen's numbers when he gives that bar pot, that's his suggested bet at the end of the show, how many numbers he goes there in race number 6. Race number 7, 1,400 meters. Now this is the race that Alistair was talking about, that my next banker comes up, and he's going to tell us a bit more about what he thinks of the weight structure. We often go to the best weighted column with this conditions plate, but we're going to leave that to him. If we've got anything to add, I'll certainly do so. Number 4, Dave the King, 14 to 10, and then Guy Gibson at 2 to 1. Let me begin with Guy Gibson, because Alistair, he represents some of the best form lines well, some of the best. In fact, the best form lines that we had during their 2-year-old campaigns, and you can see all those names in his form lines. Of course, he didn't race at the end of the month on Gold Cup Day, which was the race over 1,600 meters, the premieres. But nevertheless, that Golden Horseshoe was a tremendous run from him. But that comeback run, Alistair, after this weekend's racing, that form line will grab you, wouldn't it?
It absolutely would, Dees. But I think he's under-delivered a little bit, has Guy Gibson. Every time I turn up at the races, I always hear, Guy Gibson. And he's just not quite put it all together yet. Maybe he will rock up and give them a fright. But if you look at the plain structure of this race, and I think this is important. I've got the program open in front of me, and this was a reserve race that was put on, when was it put on? The 23rd of October, so a week before entries were in for this meeting. Event 9, 1,400 meter conditions plate, open to all horses. And the weight structure is as follows: 2-time winners or less 50 kilos, 3-time winners 52, 4-time winners 54, 5-time winners 56, 6-time winners 58, 7-time winners 60. Thereafter, 1 kilo penalty for each additional win, 6 allowance of 2 kilos for fillies and mares. A half a kilo allowance shall be given to runners at the time of publication of weights for each unplaced start since a horse was placed, first to fourth, except for starts in graded and listed races up to a maximum of 3 kilos. However, a horse that has placed first to fourth and not earned a stake for such placing shall be deemed to be unplaced for allowance purposes. So I know that this race was not on the radar for Dave the King. But this sounds like a total. I think when Mike DeCock got that email with amended program and looked carefully, he must have gone, sorry, what? No. Are you sure you want to do this? Look at the best weighted column. There's not too often I've seen in any race a horse come out 16 pounds best in a race. This also rated 124. People, and you yourself included, we're preaching him as a huge runner in the Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and he ran a ripper of a race until the final 200 meters. He's probably best over a middle distance. If you actually look at his profile, for me, his best run came in the Hong Kong Jockey Club Champions Cup at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Gold Cup Day, when finishing, wait for it, a length and a quarter to Princess Color. Horse of the year, giving him 1 kilo.
Sure.
No. And last time he ran into the stiffest headwind in the Allard Steel Road on a Mission Charity Mile. Sadly, that's his way of going to the front. That's how he's going to run. Can you manufacture anything different with a horse as big, as strong as number 4, Dave the King? I'd loathe to break that big stride. If there was a grade 1 over 1,400 meters somewhere in the country, it would probably fit the profile for number 4, Dave the King. I maintain that he's got a big win in him over a mile. But 56.5 kilos in this race, Dees. He's got to give Guy Gibson, a 3-year-old, 4 kilos when the weight per age scale shows 6. So that puts Guy Gibson another, 2 kilos under sufferance with a 4-year-old, with a 4-year-old that's run at the highest, and highest level in the country. If number 4, Dave the King, gets beaten, I think there'll be a few people scratching their heads around town, because as far as the structure of this race is concerned, that's a penalty kick of all penalty kicks.
Now, what Alistair Cohen is basically saying is that, there's value that can come around at any price. It's for you, the valued racing fan, that recognizes it on how you interpret the race. And how he's interpreted this race is that this horse is priced up at 14-10 at the time of recording the show. Not too long ago, there was a race here in KZN where See It Again made his seasonal debut. And Alistair Cohen says, you don't get these weights that skewed. That day he was 19 pounds better off with the next best. And the conditions were testing on the day. The goalpost changed come race time because it started raining. The track condition was changed to soft. And things can go wrong, horribly wrong. But he showed that he was the best horse in that field. And he was priced up, Alistair, at 1-5 that day. That was realistic now, He was priced up at 1-5. So I'm using that as a comparison, because Alistair's saying this horse is priced up at 14-10. He should be priced up at 1-5, Alistair.
Yeah, and you've brought up a point that actually bothers me among racegoers. That, I remember the late Jack Ramsey when I was growing up and going to the 3 race courses in KZN and commentating into tapes. And you often hear people talk about value bets and the interpretation of value bets and how people see it. You gave the perfect comparison, saying this horse is 14 to 10 and still represents value because he's no 14 to 10 shot. He should be an 8 to 10 shot, even shorter in this race. So take advantage while you can. I mean, there are incorrectly priced horses that could be even money, they could be 5 to 10. Like See It Again, for example. I hate the analogy of buying money, but there are times where you can't look a gift horse in the mouth, and the market dictates the price. And if you think a horse is going to win, you have to take the price on offer. I think Dave the King is going to win. He's 14 to 10. He should be half that price. It should be about 7 to 10, as I said. And take advantage while you can, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think Alistair's spot on with his remarks, with his comments, with his assessment, and most important, has given you a 14 to 10 shot with huge confidence here in race number 7. If you couldn't see it, if you're wondering how it was, the explanation was given with the structure of the weights, etc. And thanks to Alistair for that. Race number 8, 1200 meters, fillies and mares, 90 handicap. How are they betting here? Well, number 3 is at 11 to 2, 4 at 22 to 10, 5 is 8 to 1, 6 is at 28 to 10, 7 at 8 to 1, and then it is double figures the balance. I just want to double check something here because I'm almost certain I read it. Now we're going to go because Hollywoodbets are very proactive in whatever they get involved in, and they give us horses that are shorteners in the betting market, and no, it doesn't come up in this race. It's Treamishi that I'm looking at in race number 9, not in this race. But this race, Alistair, how many numbers would you go in the place accumulator?
I'd be comfortable with 2 here, D's, 4 Troppo Veloce and 6 Runway Bomb. But I also got an inkling that number 9 Little Miss Moneybags will run into the first 4, so perhaps double floating 4 and 9. Maybe even triple floating 4, 6, and 9 with the field, or the way that you do it. Actually, this is the quartet, the Diamond quartet. Banker 4 by 6 and 9 by 5, 6, and 9 by field. That's how we're going to play this quartet. Troppo Veloce did not give the time of day last time, returning from a layoff, sort of expecting her to need the run over 1,000 meters until she turned up at the race course and went down to the start. She took my breath away. Sean Terry's done an unbelievable job getting her to look that fit, to race that well, and to catch the eye that she did. She swooped past Miston Scotland as if she wasn't there. She comes out of it with a 4-pound penalty. She gets striker on her back. If she's in the same vein of form, and I'd expect her to be a little bit further along the queue than what she was last time, supposedly needing that run, then I think that she'll take all the beating. Number 4, Troppo Veloce. 6 Runway Bomb was gutsy when beating No Filter last time, but she put her heart, her soul, her guts on the line when winning that race. That's a good attribute to have. She's taken a month to come back to the races, so the way that it looked to me, that run might have taken a little bit out of number 6 Runway Bomb, but at least she's got the courage to finish off races when in winning positions. 5 Miss Hannigan, she's a tiny little girl, this daughter of Canford Cliffs, but I think that she probably just needed a couple of runs back. Don't know if I can promote her to win the race, but I think I can make a case for her running better and going closer. So 5 Miss Hannigan gets in, and like I said, number 9 Little Miss Moneybag, she'll think she's loose. She obviously rises in class but drops in weight. 1,200 meters, she's run second over this trip against Boys to Lulu's Boy when getting touched off by a short head on that occasion. Like I said, again, I don't know if I can promote anyone to beat number 4 Troppo Veloce, but I think that she can sneak into the top 4, make those quartets pay. So I don't think we're breaking the bank here. 4 Troppo Veloce, easily the horse to beat, but a few in here that can maybe not give her a fright, but a few horses that we can work around to make a bit of cash.
I tell you how I know time flies. I looked at this horse kill shot, and I promise you I thought 3-year-old. I can still remember the other day, Fani Broncos bringing this horse to KZN for that Tequini. I can promise you I can still remember it like the other day. Canadian Summer, of course she ended up the champion juvenile that season, and that is how time flies. But Alistair Cohen's trifecta in this race will cost you 4 rand. 4 a banker by 6 and 9, by 5, 6 and 9. And if you want to play that quartet with the field at the back, it'll cost you 28 rand. And that is how you think you can take those type of perms multiple times, and hopefully it falls into place. Race number 9, over 1,000 meters, merit weight at 70 handicap. How are they betting? Yeah, well, number 2, Tremishi, 14 to 1 into 10 to 1. Thanks to Hollywoodbets for that. 5 is at 4 to 1. 8 at 9 to 2. 9 at 6 to 1. Then we got 11 at 11 to 2. Form updates for 14. Finish 4 to after hours. And the form update for 15, Rock on Captain. Finish 4 to Quantum. So those are decent form updates for both those runners. Yeah, I don't know this race. Okay, I think the best way to put this race in your Hollywoodbets Punters Challenge entry, which will be the horse you will put as your entry?
Don't fall over. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Fennec Fox.
Okay, Phoenix.
Number 4. I'm putting in number 4, Fennec Fox.
What price is that? Let me have a look if you don't have it in front of you.
20 to 1.
Okay, that is the result you need.
20 to 1 Fennec Fox. This is my each way bets on the day, and in a big field we'll get 4 places. Hear me out. Fennec Fox ran 4.5 lengths to Exchange Student. Horse who ran second, Ice Star, ran to Tropo Veloce, finished third, a length and a quarter, finished up running 5th over the weekend in the National Colour Stakes. So that's one positive. The third horse, Ziasha, came out and won at Hollywoodbets Greyville. I think there's something about Ziasha. And then just ahead of Fennec Fox, Brosnan came out and ran third. Now, cast your mind back. Fennec Fox was quoted to run on the 26th of October and got impeded at the start by a handler and was thankfully declared a non-runner. Thankfully for my pocket, because I had an each-way bet, so I got a refund. I felt like a winner. She was impeded and was declared a non-runner. I've been waiting for her to come back. Number 4, Fennec Fox. Her ratings come down again. She was once a 93. She's now a 68. Wesley Mowing takes her out for Heinrich van der Westhuizen. And I think Wesley sort of needs to be on guard, sort of perhaps getting her across. She'll be running at them, so she might need a little bit of luck in running in this big field. But the case I've got for number 4, Fennec Fox, despite not being a winning one, I'm still going to have an each-way bet on her at the price. I hope it's not too good to be true, and also there was money for her last time, 20 to 1 to around 12 to 1. Someone liked her last time out. She has a history of coughing in her races, so I suppose we run into that type of risk that she could drop her bundle and be a no-show. But I'm motivating that if you are in trouble in the last race on the card, despite just about anything having the capabilities of winning a race of this nature, and probably my top choice being number 8, Dark Tide, who's also never a good thing. Each way play number 4, Fennec Fox. Don't be afraid. Get your money back on number 4, Fennec Fox. As far as the others who have a chance, no surprise to see number 2, Trey Amici find support. I've always maintained that he can't be all that far away from a win. His ratings come down steadily, probably made even easier with Trent Mayhew's 4-kilo claim. Samoa's drawn on what's perceived to be the right side of the track, but I always prefer Samoa with Gavin Larena on her back. What a Tiger will have a say. Happy and Naily has been on my radar for a while. Dark Tide, like I said, top choice. All these horses can go into the pick 6. But the point I'm making, and I don't know if we'll be in trouble come the last race because of the topsy-turvy nature of the card. I think if you played correctly earlier on, you could get to this last race probably in the pound seat. But for Fennec Fox, each way play, top 3, huge top 3 chance. I like her chances a lot, Dees.
This could be. What I'm saying is this. I wanted to say that we got 20 to 1 with Alistair Cohen. What we're going to do is that we're actually going to make this a 35 to 1 shot. Close to a 50 to 1 shot, because at the time of recording, Dave the King is 1.4. So let's just do the math there quickly for you. So that will be 2.4 times 21 minus 1. 49 to 1. That is what we got on Phoenix Fox at the time of recording. We're calling it 50. We're rounding it off. 50 to 1 on Phoenix Fox, because Dave the King is going to arrive and we are going to be waiting for this horse in the last. And for the places, that will be the cover bet, win Dave the King into places, Phoenix Fox. And we may have to play this as an intro to the next time I do the show with Alistair Cohen. if Phoenix Fox arrives in race number 9. Alistair, let's have a look at your bipod.
Yep, so the bipod gets into it. 1:45. Sorry, I just saw dollar signs while you were talking there. So yeah, it starts at 1:45 on this 9-race card, so don't miss out. It's banking number 3, Winter Path in the first leg, by 3 and 8, Albay Reg and Karoo Gold, with Karoo Gold being a first selection, by 1, Green Light Magic, 3, Kambulu, 4, Romeo's Magic, 5, Over to Use, 6, Viva Brazil, 7, 5th of July, 10, Brotherhood of Magic, and 12, Skyfall. Don't like that race at all, the start of the pick 6. By 2, Whispers of War, 7, Billy Spellbound, and 9, Willow Express. I like Willow Express. D's, we're going to make money on a place all to come here. Race 6, penultimate leg of the bipod, 2, Back to Basics, 4, Whirly, 6, Fully Loaded, 7, Eiffel Tower, and 8, Napoleon, by banker number 4, Dave the King.
Well, a card that I certainly thought looked extremely competitive, didn't excite me that much. Alistair Cohen has just sprinkled the sugar on this card with some of his selections, one of them being Dave the King and the other being Phoenix Fox. And if you are just listening into this preview at the back end, please rewind to some of the races prior to this, because there's some value being found on this card on Tuesday, the 7th of November. Alistair, as always, an absolute pleasure. And your thought process and your assessment and your selections, hopefully everything falls into place on this Tuesday.
Yep, always live in hope, but I've got a good feeling about this card. These are the types of cards that I do like. When they do seem open, when there are a few horses at a big price, they don't all need to click. We just need a couple to click, and we'll be happy at the end of it all.
Yeah, if there's icing on the cake after the last, that will be Phoenix Fox. Thanks a lot, Alistair, to you, the valued racing fan. Hopefully, everything goes according to plan. You can add your numbers to Alistair Cohen's selections. And now that we have some value to close things off in race number 9, we'll see how things fall into place. I hope you have a blast. Hope you find all the winners, make a huge profit, and it turns out to be a successful day if you're racing on the Vaal on this Tuesday. Alistair Cohen, Gallop TV, myself, Dees Dynan. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.